So, people, Arsenal 2, Burnley 0. Another victory for Arsenal at the top of the league. Job done at Turf Moor and another game ticked off, people. Tale of two halves, really. I thought Arsenal first half were brilliant, got the job done. Took their foot off the pedal a little bit second half. If I'm being a little bit picky, I would have liked to have seen Arsenal maybe really put Burnley to the sword and go and beat them 4 or 5-0. But at the same time, maybe they conserved some energy. And we've got obviously 2 games this week looking ahead. Just a couple of things that Mikel Arteta mentioned after the game. One was that Zubimendi has to come off with a muscular issue. He's obviously suspended for the midweek game against Slavia Prague, so he's obviously got the week to rest until we play Sunderland next weekend. And the other one was Victor Gyokeres, who Arteta confirmed it was a muscular issue. Some people thought he'd been elbowed in the face, but apparently it was a muscular issue, and it was a shame he came off at half time. Let's start with the 2 goal scorers today, and in particular, Victor Gyokeres had a lot of criticism from a lot of other fan bases and some people inside our own fan base. And listen, I know people will point to the opposition, it's Burnley, but I thought today was one of his best performances in an Arsenal shirt. Now, as I said, people will say it's Burnley, newly promoted team, he should be doing the business against them. You know, Liverpool went there earlier in the season and scored a 93rd minute penalty and struggled to break this Burnley team down. His hold-up play, his runs that he was making, he played a fantastic pass earlier in the game to, I think it was Trossard, where he switched the play and zinged it out wide. Created 2 big chances for Saka, where, you know, he could have got at least 1 assist. And he scored his goal. I know, listen, people will say it's a header from 2 yards out, but it's a goal. It's good movement. It's good position to be in. I thought it was a really positive performance for him. And listen, he needed that. Didn't matter who the opposition was. He needed a league goal. That's his 4th of the season. I think that's 6 in all competition now in around 13 games. So you're nearly at 1 in 2, which for somebody who people have been very critical of, I think you're starting to see the best of him. I just really hope that he's fit for the midweek game in Prague, because when you've played like that, you want to continue to play. Declan Rice today, people, absolutely outstanding. I want to commend him today, not just for the performance, but I think for the general character that he is in general at this football club. And I've said many times, when you're on the tour, he's one of the biggest characters. You know, he's a leader, he's a character, he'll have a laugh, he's serious about his football. You know, he puts in a brilliant shift every week. He's now adding goals. He's one of the best set piece takers in Europe. What a fantastic player, and what a brilliant goal he scored today. And listen, he dedicated his celebration to his auntie, who I believe passed away this week. Obviously, thoughts go out to him and his family. And just what a fantastic player. What a player we're lucky to have. You know, Arsene Wenger needed a player like Declan Rice for years, when we used to have all these, you know, number 10s that were good on the ball. But we needed a Declan Rice. What a fantastic player. I think, you know, one of the best players in the league in midfield, probably him, Gravenberch, Caicedo, Tonali. They've been the standout midfielders, really, in the Premier League. So well done to Declan Rice. In terms of performances, first off, lots of good performances. Trossard, player I've been critical of, I thought struggled physically against Kyle Walker. We know Walker's a strong fullback, but some really good touches. Great crossing for Declan Rice's goal as well. Zubimendi and Rice are really building a nice partnership there. Zubimendi played a ball, man. Left foot chip over the top into Trossard. One of the passes of the season. If only Trossard could have finished it. Gabriel and Saliba solid. Great to see Saliba back when we thought he'd be out. Calafiori was good again. Crazy player. Hard to figure out because he just goes everywhere. But another solid performance. Timber's just Timber. He's just outstanding. And David Raya was solid considering he didn't have a lot to do. But made that really good save at the end, which shows his concentration levels. Eze, I thought first half played well. Second half, not as good. You know, I don't know about anybody else. And listen, he needs time to settle in, and he's doing all right. But I want to see a bit more from Eze. Grab the game by the scruff of the neck. But again, needs time to settle in. Be interesting what happens when Odegaard comes back, whether Eze's moved back to the left and Odegaard goes back in that attacking midfield. As for Saka today, listen, I said what I said on the watch along today. Some people agreed, some people disagreed. My comments were basically, for anybody that didn't watch, that Saka is probably the most highly rated player at Arsenal in terms of the attack. And at the moment, I don't think he's at his best. Now, we could put that down to a number of things. He's come back from a pulled hamstring, torn hamstring last season. He's had a few good games, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was brilliant against Fulham. But I still don't think he's at his best yet. I don't think he's destroying fullbacks in that same way. Could have scored 2 goals today. Should have scored one of them, I think, at least. Um, I put him on such a pedestal because of how highly I rate him that I expect a lot of him. So maybe sometimes I'm a little bit harsh on him, but it's because I actually rate him that highly. And I think sometimes, listen, I used to watch Alexis Sanchez a lot at Arsenal, right? I sat on the side of the ground that he was when he was playing left wing towards the North Bank. And the amount of games he grabbed by the scruff of the neck and won for us and showed a moment of brilliance. I'm not comparing Saka to Alexis, but I want him to be that clutch player that wins us big games, that has big moments. Let me know in the comments what you think about that conversation in general. Are we seeing the best of Saka? Is it fitness? Is it injuries? Is it that he just needs more time? When you look at what Elise is doing at Bayern Munich, you look at what Lamine Yamal did last year, you look at Salah last season, right wingers who, we're comparing him to, the one thing that I feel that those guys are doing is putting up big, big numbers. Now, you could argue the leagues are easier in terms of the Bundesliga, but I think we need Saka to produce one of those seasons where, a couple of years ago he got the 15 plus. We need that again. He's only got 2 league goals at the moment. Yeah, listen, it's a topic of conversation and definitely worth discussing in more detail, constructively, people. But listen, we got the job done. Second half, Waneri came on, showed a bit of quality, great turn, had a shot. Norgard had a shot. We didn't create a whole lot. I think you saw in the second half how important Gyokeres is to this team. I know we'd already pretty much won the game, but Marino was not at the same level as Gyokeres in a very physical battle. We know that Marino can do a job up there, but Burnley away, physical battle, Gyokeres brings more to this team than goals. So I really hope that he can build on that going forward. Good victory, Slavia Prague on Tuesday, 5:45 kickoff. I'll be live from 4:45. Obviously, we know now, I've put this out a little bit later, Liverpool won 2-0 tonight. Aston Villa were absolutely shocking. And that's not taking anything away from Liverpool, who got the job done, but Villa are so, so bad. Well, they were in that game. They're actually they'd won 4 and drew 1 of their last 5, but I just look at that Villa team and think, a year ago they had Duran, they had Bailey, they had Diaby, a lot of pace. Watched them today, man. They didn't look like they could score if they played for 2 weeks. So, yeah, listen, Arsenal, good victory, top of the league. Man City play Bournemouth tomorrow. Liverpool play Man City next week. Let's hope we can get a win at Prague and a win at Sunderland. See you all soon, people. Declan Rice, man of the match, by the way. Take care, everyone. Bless.